Probably by your kids and your wife.
Yeah.
Where did he tell you to speak from there?
Anywhere he said he would hand me a mic, but I can just yell too.
Okay, because when you're done, hand me the mic, please,
Yeah.
so I can give it to Robin Brown.
Sure. Oh, Robin? Okay. She's all right.
It's pretty hot, so
Yep. So don't say anything inappropriate.
correct. And you're on.
Good evening. Good evening. Welcome. My name is Todd Wachtel, and on behalf of the Board of Directors of the congregation, welcome to Congregation BethChaim. Before we begin, please note the exit doors on either side of the rear of the sanctuary. In case of an emergency, please follow the instructions of those on the bima. As we prepare for Shabbat worship, we ask that you turn off all electronic devices, no bootleg copies of the band. For the benefit of those who cannot be here in the sanctuary, we live stream, and our photographer posts pictures on social media. Please see an usher or a board member if you do not want your image to appear, and we ask that no one else take pictures during this sacred hour. Large print prayer books and hearing enhancement devices are available. Please ask any usher or board member if you wish to use either. Shabbat Shalom.
So we realize, of course, that today is the 3rd of May, but of course, it's also Erev Shabbat, which means it's also Erev the 4th of May. So we have a special nigun for the 4th of May. May the 4th be with you.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thank you very much. It is my great pleasure and honor to invite tomorrow's Bat Mitzvah, Maya Zarul, to the Bima, accompanied by her family for the honor of lighting Shabbat candles and Kiddush.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kedishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ava u'vratzon hinchilanu, zikaron le'maaseh v'reishit. כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחתנו. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat.
There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire but to share. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days when we act as if we care nothing for the rights of others. On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal. So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace.
And it's my great pleasure and honor in the continuation of our new tradition to begin worship with inspiring words from congregants to invite Robin Valentine to the bima.
Shabbat Shalom. My name is Robin Valentine, and I wanted to share with all of you, the role BethChaim has played and continues to play in my life. BethChaim was my second home growing up. I have seen all of the physical phases of this congregation. I was bat mitzvahed in the original sanctuary and had both my confirmation and ufruf in this sanctuary. I have been blessed to see my twins have their consecration, b'nai mitzvah, and their confirmation here as well. I have been privileged to literally grow up here. My family was a founding family and were intimately involved with every aspect of forming this congregation. BethChaim was the central Jewish force in our home. My mom was the first paid employee other than Rabbi Wisnia when she took on the role of temple secretary. Together with her friends, she started organizing events such as Passover Seders and New Year's Eve parties. She and I together made the first college student packages. I went through religious school, became a bat mitzvah and a confirmand, and then a religious school teacher for a few years. I was involved with BICD and served as vice president for 2 years during high school. I was even a mother's helper for Rabbi Wisnia and his family while they were at Camp Harlem one summer. I was privileged to go to Israel with my parents and my sister, along with a few other congregants, on Rabbi Wisnia's very first Israel trip. My husband Dan and I were married by Rabbi Wisnia, and when we moved here prior to having our children, we never even thought about it. We just became members. We wanted our children to know that this was our Jewish place, one that was special and an important part of our family's life. I have made many friends both here both as a child and as an adult, whom I greatly cherish. I have been able to carry on the legacy my parents gave to me as a child by helping to lead this congregation, and I have been blessed to watch my children take on leadership roles both here in BICD and Nifty Par, the branch of the National Youth Movement of the Reform Movement. BethChaim has been a place of joy and a place of comfort for me. When I was bedridden during my pregnancy, Congregants were gracious enough to form a meal train and brought Dan and I dinners for Shabbat. When we had 2 very premature babies, many congregants reached out to see what our needs were and if they could lend a hand. When both of my parents passed away, this community helped to hold my family up. The kindness of congregants and clergy have been a blessing to us. Today, this congregation continues to be a driving force in my life as it has done for the past 45 plus years. I have been blessed to know that this is truly a house of life. Again, Shabbat Shalom.
La 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 לך דודי, la 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 לקראת כלה, la 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 בני שבת, בני שבת לגמרי, la 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 דודי, la 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 לקראת כלה, la 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 בני שבת, בני שבת לגמרי. שמור וזכור בליבו אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ותפארת ולתהילה. La 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 la,
Hindrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time, even at unlikely times and through unlikely places. There is no place on earth without God's presence. We rise together.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, נלמד יברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי כל בית ישראל, בעגלה בעגלה ובזמן קריב זמרו אמן, יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעולם ועולם מעל מיה יתברך, יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי קודשה בריחו, לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. הם חיינו באורך ימינו ובהם נגה יומם ולילה נגה יומם ולילה ואהבתך תסיר ממנו לעולמי ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל אוהב עמו ישראל שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד 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 ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד La 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 ya la 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 ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Nora בני ובן בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. בני ובן בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת דורותם ברית עולם. ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת דורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, rebuild a weakened will. We rise together.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואמהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה כל אתריו להושיע. מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו בשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני בחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
So many things to be thankful for, always. At this moment in the service, we take a moment. At this moment, we take a moment. We take a moment at this moment. 2 moments. To give thanks. And if there's anything for which we are thankful, please just raise your hand. And oh, yes. Thankful for God. Yes.
I'm thankful for all of the people who donated for Brianna's thing, for the goodness for good, for the painful that Leah Damron and her family is doing for the Ronald McDonald House tomorrow.
Very nice. Yes. A little bit louder? Okay.
מודים אנחנו לה, מודים אנחנו לה.
Yes.
I had originally told myself, don't do this, but after the cantor gave us a sermon on numerology, I decided that was because it is very exciting today, the 3rd of May. What makes it exciting is that 2 days ago was the 1st of May. The 1st of May, many countries, European countries, is Labor Day. They celebrate the working person, most of whom are off that day. But they celebrate that. In one country, France, it is another day that's special. It is the festival of Lily of the Valley. And on that day, you give your beloved a small bouquet of lily of the valley as a sign of your love. It actually goes back to the 17th century, 1650. King Henry, France was given the lilies of the valley by the fire. He just that it's so wonderful that all the ladies in his court should receive that beauty, that a man who is intended wife, when single men would have new man. Now it is a very common practice that you give lily of the valley to those you care about, for whom you are grateful for having part of your lives. It's in that context that I wanted to give each and every one of you okay. I did not have that well. So I ask you to take a walk through my mind and to know that how grateful my family and I are to have all of those good times.
Very nice. Yes.
I'm grateful that my dad took the day off of work yesterday to spend the day with me before he and my mom went on vacation.
Ah. Yes, sir. Grandparents.
מודים אנחנו לה, מודים אנחנו לה.
I'm really happy for my grandson who's playing varsity baseball this spring, and the team's been struggling. They had a big win yesterday, we had 3 for 4, and they had a big win today, and he went 3 for 4. So I'm just really excited about that.
Mazel tov. Yes.
I'm really grateful for my grandchildren that I had the best opportunity this week to babysit them, and I'm really glad
Okay, last one. Family and friends. Here we go. Modim anachnu lach. Modim anachnu lach. And now our prayer for peace. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Sim Lecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Sim Lecha. Ki ata hu melech Adon, lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech Adon, lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Sim Lecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Sim Lecha. Tov enecha levarech et amcha Yisrael, bechol עת ובכל שעה, לשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Sim Lecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Sim Lecha. Baruch atah Adonai, המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Sim Lecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Sim Lecha. Sim Lecha. Sim
We continue with silent prayer. Eternal God, we come before you with open hearts and open minds as we reach out to you for inspiration to bring an extra measure of healing and love to those who are in need. As we say the names aloud of so many in our community, we ask that you will inspire us to reach out to others, to provide for them and care for them and bring an extra measure of love. And in so doing, partner with you to bring an extra measure of wholeness and healing to this world. On this Shabbat, our prayers join together with Megan Mary DeFaro, Rhoda Schwartz, Arlene Grable, Donald Molaski, Teddy Molaski, Nathan Hecker, Jeff Stoller, Phil Jarvis, Marilyn Fessel, Jan Gale, Claire Meyer, Linda Grunbaum, Howard Rosenblatt, Dolores Rosenblatt, Allison Stadius, Pamela White, William Jack Isola, Stephanie Herman, Lauren Sadek, and with your loved ones, your friends, family, and neighbors, we invite you to add to our list as we make our way through the sanctuary.
Anthony Nash, Nancy Wilson, and Jay Smith. Liz Summers. Catherine Isnardi. Janet Haley Nixon, Jen Thomas.
Kelvin Rodham, Paul Rodham, Carl Cronin. Brown. Larry Braver.
Yosef Moshe ben Hirsch Vahinda, Zahava Bat Rivka.
Carol Marks.
Was recently murdered in the California Shabbat.
May all whose names have been said allow those who remain in our hearts and all throughout this world who are in need of healing, come to know Rifuah Shlema, complete in a speedy recovery as we join together in Yishavera.
Misheberach Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov. Misheberach Imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, v'Rachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer. Hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov. Misheberach Imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, v'Rachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer.
Shabbat Shalom again, everyone. I'm going to tell you a story in a bit, but first I want to tell you a little bit about the man about whom this story is about. He eventually became known as Shmuel HaNagid, one of the great Talmudic scholars and poets and statesmen of Muslim Spain. His life began much more humble. He was born in 993, so before the year 1000. And he was born a very poor family. And he was blessed to have the study and the knowledge that he gained in so many fields. But we know that education, if it comes from those we know is free, material things were a whole nother story. Well, eventually circumstances led him to another part of Spain where he was able to scrape together enough resources to open up a spice shop of all things, located not far from the home of the Vizier of Granada. A vizier is a high-ranking statesman in the court of a Muslim king's country, a Muslim king's court. So he was a Jew living near the vizier, selling his spices, a humble merchant, and he had a customer who came in regularly who happened to be the servant of the vizier, who noticed letters that Shmuel had written. See, Shmuel, on top of becoming a Talmud scholar and everything else, was fluent in Hebrew and in Arabic and in Spanish. And on top of all of that, he was a master calligraphy artist. You know, those people who have every talent God has to offer. And the servant noticed these letters and became so impressed by them that when his responsibility was to write letters in the vizier's court, he would periodically come into Shmuel's spice shop and pay him to write letters for him. And it turned out that one day the vizier, all true story, that the vizier happened to see one of those letters and was so taken by the beauty of the prose and how each letter on the page not only sounded great, but was perfectly written, that the vizier asked his servant to please introduce him to Shmuel. And sure enough, one day he brought him to the vizier's home, and the vizier was so impressed with Shmuel that he asked him to become his personal secretary. Remember, a high-ranking Muslim in Spain asks a Jew to become his personal secretary, and he gained so much trust of his wisdom that we're told that Shmuel went way beyond being a personal secretary. He gave advice to the vizier on a whole bunch of important political and national affairs, which the vizier, in his own name, passed on to the king, until the vizier was on his deathbed. And we know that the vizier confessed to the king that all of that great advice that he had been giving him, much of it, had come from his personal secretary, a Jew named Shmuel. And the king decided that he needed to meet this man, and although he had been known for years and years and years to be as anti-Semitic as they made them in that day, he was so impressed by Shmuel and so grateful for the advice that he had gotten from the vizier, which came from Shmuel, that when the vizier of Granada died, Shmuel was named the vizier of Granada. A Jew was named the highest ranking person in Granada, serving the King of Spain, who was Muslim. So this story is told about that man who we are told would go to the king's palace every day. And you can imagine that anyone who had gained that kind of favor with the king, especially a Jew, had a great deal of resentment that had built up in the people around him, jealousy. And rumors would start that this man, Shmuel, who served the king, was actually trying to create a coup, where the Jews were going to take over, and this was going to be Shmuel's plot, and all of these rumors built up, especially in this one merchant who took on the words of so many people that this hatred in his heart was so intense that each day when Shmuel would pass the merchant's shop, the merchant would come out and start screaming angry, hate-filled things at Shmuel, and literally followed him to the king's gate, to the palace gate, each day, tormenting with these horrible filled things. And then there was this one day when, after Shmuel had built up a lovely relationship with the king, and the king understood why the vizier had had great confidence in them, that they became friends, and one day they were out for a walk, and as you might guess, they walked past that same merchant's shop. And so blinded by anger and hatred that the merchant came out screaming at Shmuel, never noticing that he was standing with the king. And the king was so upset that he ordered his security detail to arrest the merchant and to put him into the dungeon to await what his fate would be. You can guess that even the most hate-filled people, once they understand what predicament they have been put into, started to cry. And the fear is what took over the hatred. He knew the possibility that the king would cut out his tongue or worse. And day after day, he awaited his fate. The king was so upset that he didn't know what to do. And he decided to call Shmuel to his chambers. And he said, "Not only do I trust your judgment, but since this man brought this offense upon you, I have decided that you and you alone will decide his fate." And Shmuel said, "I'm grateful, Your Majesty. What I'd like you to do is set him free." Set him free? You've got to be kidding me. Shmuel said, "No. My tradition teaches me about tshuva and about forgiveness. And here is a man that was so overtaken by the emotions and rumors of others that he couldn't think straight. I need to give him an opportunity to make good and to understand the good that he can bring to the world." And so, as he had asked, the merchant was released and heard that it was on the decision made by Shmuel himself. And the very next day, Shmuel passed that merchant's shop, and like he did for years and years and years, he came out screaming words of praise and gratitude for a man who would spare his life and who could teach the world around them that it is love and righteousness that must overcome hatred. And we're told that when the king went on a walk and saw what the man was now doing, he turned to Shmuel and said, "It is your wisdom and why I have placed you in charge of Granada, in charge of all of my military affairs, because of your wisdom and your compassion." You know, this week, Jews in Israel study from the Parashah Kiddushim, the Torah portion dedicated to holiness. It's the continuation of the holiness code. It begins, "Kiddushim tihiyu ki kadosh ani Adonai Elohechem." You shall be holy, for I, God, am holy. It is a series of laws and statutes to teach us how to follow a path of righteousness and holiness, meaning being set aside for a special purpose in God. And we right now live in a world where hate speech is everywhere we look. And it's not just anti-Semitism and Islamophobia and anti-LGBTQ and every other thing. Everything seems to be an argument and words of stubbornness and hatred from all corners of the earth. Shmuel Hanagid in that story remind us that, we need to do something to bring an extra measure of holiness in this world, to turn all of this anger and negativity to positive thinking and speech. So, one lesson I hope from today's story and from this week's Torah portion. Your homework for Shabbat. Please find one way to bring words of kindness and blessing where they would be least expected. And when you do, the world around us will be a better place. Shabbat Shalom. Friends, our service continues with Aleinu as we rise together.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. As we prepare to share the words of Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish, let us pause to remember our loved ones, those whom we honor on the occasion of their yahrzeit, and others who we have lost, as well as all of our loved ones who are no longer with us. For when we remember what they taught us through word and deed, and we act accordingly, then and only then do their lives continue to have meaning and blessing long after their days on earth. Let us remember them and be inspired by them as we say their names aloud. As we say the name of a loved one, we invite you to please stand at their mentioning as we honor their memory and their blessing. We honor the memories of those whose yahrzeit we observe on this Shabbat: Bernie Bloom, Sylvia Sofra, Rose Plotnick, Saul Brown, Bessie Kotowicz Chase, Sadie Kaplan, Paul Weissman, Estelle Fetter, Irving Sherman, Benjamin Feldman, Florence K. Gutterman, Aaron Basin, Betty Brosoff, Julia Deutsch, Mildred Cattell, Molly Lacker, Marilyn Ruth Laster, Marvin Gitnick, Jacob Gruber, Esther Duker, Sarah Needleman, Carl Neufeld, Florence Nurnberg, Sarah Seva, Tilly Weissenberg, Thomas Boylan, Clara Burstein Yodas, Ruth Mackler, Jack Marcus. We continue in the period of Shloshim, the first 30 days since death, as we recall Jean Pucciati, the mother of Joseph Pucciati, Erwin Markman, the grandfather of Jeremy Kieber, T. Rabbit Orbach, son of Frank Orbach and stepson of Annette Anima Orbach, and Carol Barrage Shelley, a friend of Ellen Chasen. We also announce with sadness the passing this morning of Genia Burke, the mother of Toby Arias. Graveside funeral to be held on Tuesday on Long Island with Shiva observance Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday with a minyan beginning each night at 7 p.m. If there's anyone who would like to add a name, one that has not yet been said aloud, we invite you to please stand. In loving honor of all whose names have been said aloud and those who no longer have anyone to recall their memory, as an act of love and support, we stand alongside our mourners as we share together Kaddish Yatom. Yikadal v'yikadash shemer haba, v'yomad yivrach cherutei v'yamlik malchutei, v'chaye chon v'yomei uv'chaye b'chol beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kariv imru. Yehei shemer haba mevarach v'olam olomei almaya, yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipar v'yitamam v'yinaseh. V'yitazar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemer k'shar b'richu. Le'ela minko birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechmata da'miran ba'alma v'imru. Yehei shalom rava min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'yalko Yisrael v'imru. Oseh shalom b'mrumav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'yalko Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to this entire world, as together we say. Amen. Please be seated. Is Todd making the closing announcements? Here comes Todd to make the closing announcement.
As the rabbi said during his Devar, words matter. So on behalf of the board, I get to say thank you. Thank you for joining us tonight for Shabbat. Thank you to the ushers and oneg hosts and hostesses for their help tonight. Congratulations to the Bat Mitzvah family. Let us celebrate our first grade students as they share their knowledge of the Hebrew alphabet through art and song. Join us for Aleph Bet Siyam on Sunday at 10:45 in the sanctuary. Israel is celebrating her 71st birthday. Next Friday, we will be celebrating with an Israel dinner at 6:30 p.m., followed by the Shabbat service. We're also having a black sneaker drive through May 19th to help the homeless kids in our community get off to a great school year. Girls and boys, toddler to adult sizes, preferably new. Shabbat Shalom.
Or zaru ala tzadik, ul yishrei lev simcha. Light is sown for the righteous, and gladness for the upright. There are 3 parts in the song. You can pick any one you like, and they all work together.
Bam bam bidi 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 bam.
That's the easiest one.
Bam bidi bam.
Second one. Yabada, 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 dabada, dabada, dabada. People can still do
Bam bidi bam bam bidi bam.
yabada, yabada, dabada, dabada, dabada. Third part.
Ozaru ala tzadik, ul
back up to hold the challah. You can bring some of your friends and family with you if you want. Or you could have the moment all to yourself. Courage of a 13-year-old all by herself. Ready? You get to hold it? I'll hold this part. You get to take the cover off. Awesome. And you get to hold the rest. Will you please rise? In anticipation of joining in an oneg of celebration, please join us in Motzi.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
The strength of 1,000.
Could you help pass out like everyone else? We invite you, please put your arms around a loved one. Put out a hand and reach out to a friend. Reach out, make a new friend. Don't leave anyone hanging. Eternal God, we stand before you in thanksgiving for all of our blessings in life, for the love that comes from family, from the support and strength that comes from friends, from the inspiration and the privilege of being part of sacred community, and for the beauty of your creation which surrounds us each and every day. We offer you our thanks and our praise. Eternal God, we ask that your blessing will be with us throughout our community and throughout the world on Shabbat and the days to come. We invoke your name and blessing.
Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless us and protect us.
Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God's presence be with us and be gracious to us.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May God's loving eyes continue to gaze upon us. And may God bless us and all peoples of the world with God's greatest gift of all, the gift of peace.
Amen.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
That's called dissonance. We were trying out some experimental music. Well, here. Here's the problem. I didn't play it. Now there we go. I percuss. I don't tap. Here's the problem. I was doing it in E flat.
I know, and he was doing
It was in D.
I know, it was the funniest thing ever.
And then I was going to.
So I just told Danny, after the first round, I was going to say, the band sounds rocking great tonight. And then you guys did that.
And then I was going to shift. I started to shift to D because I was playing D. No.
But if it wasn't just that exact moment when you're asking for
So I was going to shift to D. I started to go to D, and then I saw you move the cape one. I went, whoop, now we're back in E flat. But I'm glad I saw you do that because I would have been really, and you would have been. That would have been hilarious. Maybe. That was funny. She was cracking up. I saw her cracking up. I'm like, so we're doing June, July. Yeah, it's okay. I think it's okay. Beautiful. Did you? That's confirmed on the. Confirming it right now. Why not? As long as everybody's around. Make sure.
That was hysterical.
So we're gonna do June, July. And
You were in the right key.
No, I heard him.
That
It was a little flat.
hysterical.
Which one?
Just
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? What's
wrong with that? Wait a minute on this.
Does that not sound good?
It's hysterical. You guys, no, you guys, it's not a big moment. It sounds
You saw
great.
it, you were
Yeah.
What was that? The band didn't see that.
Oh.
I didn't see that.
That's cool. Very cool.
Did you work on that one? I did that last year. Last year Friday was on. I think I saw.
All I can say is you guys really did sound great.
Did we?
Yeah.
I thought the sound was good, but like up here it's a little different.
No, you guys.
Yeah.
Except for that one moment when I was about to compliment you.
Well,
So-
you know, it
sorry,
shouldn't
if
be
you had-
perfect.
If you had
But
if
that-
you
and
called
that-
me first, I would have said that,
and
and then
that
you would
last-
have
that
you would
last-
have clinked it, and I would have laughed.
That last song was a little
hysterically.
interesting, the way it started. The Orazua.
Yeah, Orzarua.
Orazarua, I can.
Yeah,
Right?
Like,
I started it the wrong key.
you started, so it didn't,
Yeah.
But then you
I just thought it was some kind of interesting introduction.
It was an interesting, that's sure.
see.
Who's all playing?
Ticket?
That's it, that's the thing.
I had a lot of fun listening tonight. Alright, I dropped off $28 at Libby's house, and I meant to text her that I did it. 'cause
Oh, it's
not a
14?
lot.
I thought it was 12. 14?